On March 7, 2020, in the small town of Brooksville, Indiana, 13-year-old Lisa Turner disappeared after attending a school dance celebrating International Women's Day. Lisa had promised her mother, Susan Turner, to return home early. She called her mother twice, once when she arrived at the dance and again when she left around 9:45 p.m., stating she was walking past a convenience store and would be home in 10 minutes. When Lisa failed to arrive, Susan immediately grew concerned. Surveillance footage later showed Lisa near the town's community center at 9:45 p.m., just 15 minutes before the dance's scheduled end at 10. Lisa's parents began searching the route she would have taken. Her father drove along the path, but found no trace of her. Witnesses reported hearing a girl's screams and screeching tires around that time, but dismissed it as a prank. Susan mobilized friends, family, and volunteers, eventually gathering over 650 people to aid in the search. Some teens claimed they saw a silver SUV following Lisa as she walked home. One girl alleged Lisa had called her mother to say she was being followed, though Susan insists her daughter never mentioned this. On March 9, 2020, Alexander Lipman, a 35-year-old from nearby Clayton, Indiana, turned himself into police. Officers had already identified his aunt's silver SUV, linked to the case by eyewitness accounts. When police arrived at Lipman's home, he was grilling barbecue with relatives and drying freshly washed car seats. Forensic tests later revealed Lisa's blood on the seats. Lipman initially denied involvement, but eventually confessed to hitting Lisa with a tire iron, claiming he panicked and dumped her body in the Willow River near Brooksville. Divers searched the river for 2 days but found nothing. On March 10th, volunteers discovered a black trash bag containing adult toys, a wig, and lingerie on the riverbank, though investigators dismissed it as unrelated. Authorities abruptly halted ground searches, focusing solely on the river. Volunteers defied the order and found Lisa's body buried in a shallow grave in a forest near Clayton, 7 miles from Brooksville, on March 11th. An autopsy confirmed she'd been strangled and sexually assaulted. Lipman's story unraveled. No evidence supported his hit-and-run claim, and the burial site's 1.5-meter deep grave seemed impossible for him to dig alone, especially with a recently healed broken arm. Phone records revealed calls to his brother Paul and local official Steve O'Connell a few hours after the crime was committed. None of them has been questioned. At trial, Lipman claimed he owed $150,000 to unnamed individuals and was coerced into abducting Lisa. Susan argued his clean clothing contradicted the bloody crime scene, suggesting accomplices. Despite Lipman's conviction on March 23, 2021, 24 years in a maximum security prison, $1 million compensation, Susan insists the investigation was flawed. Key witnesses were ignored, and evidence of additional DNA in the SUV went unexamined. Susan continues seeking public support to reopen the case, believing others involved remain free. Footage of Lipman washing his SUV post-crime and inconsistencies in the police report fuel her resolve. Susan emphasizes such crimes were unheard of in Brooksville. She urges attention to systemic failures and demands justice for Lisa. The story of Lisa Turner is not just a family's tragedy. It is a story about a question that remains unanswered. How many more hidden truths lie buried behind the closed doors of this investigation? Lisa's mother, Susan, continues to fight not only for the truth about her daughter, but against a system eager to close the case where questions still demand answers. Why were key witnesses never questioned? Why was the DNA evidence in the killer's car ignored? And how could a man with a recently broken arm, barely able to grip a shovel, be the sole culprit. We may never know the full truth, but silence is complicity. Every view, every comment, every share you make adds pressure to crack this system's indifference. Lisa deserves more than 24 years in prison for one man. She deserves justice. If this story has moved you, do not let it fade into silence. Speak up. Demand answers. Keep her name alive, because tomorrow it could be someone else's daughter, sister, or friend in Lisa's place. And silence kills louder than a gunshot.